Greetings, lexicon explorers. Join me as we unravel the hidden treasures of language. In this captivating video, we'll unravel mind-boggling words, equipping you with linguistic prowess that will leave others speechless. Here is the first word. Insatiable. He had an insatiable appetite for knowledge and always sought to learn. Her love for adventure was insatiable, she constantly sought new experiences. The artist's creativity seemed insatiable, she was always working on new projects. The child's insatiable curiosity led to endless questions. Despite achieving great success, she remained insatiable and continued to strive for more. Insatiable means impossible to satisfy or quench. Here is one more example. Karen's appetite for spicy food was insatiable, she even used hot sauce as toothpaste and ordered jalapeno-flavored ice cream. Aplomb. She handled the difficult situation with aplomb and grace. The actor performed the challenging role with aplomb, impressing the audience. The leader's calm demeanor and aplomb inspired confidence in the team. Despite the pressure, he answered the interview questions with aplomb. The pianist's flawless performance showcased her technical skill and aplomb. Aplomb means self-confidence and assurance in a challenging situation. Here is one more example. Despite tripping on a banana peel, Sarah managed to regain her aplomb by moonwalking away as if she had meant to do it. Imperturbable. The therapist remained imperturbable in the face of her patient's anger. The CEO's imperturbable nature helped him navigate challenging business situations. She faced criticism with an imperturbable attitude, staying focused on her goals. The surgeon's imperturbable demeanor reassured the anxious patient. Despite the chaos around him, he maintained an imperturbable composure. Imperturbable means calm and unable to be easily upset or agitated. Here is one more example. The yoga instructor remained imperturbable while the class turned into a contortionist competition after a rogue squirrel invaded the studio. Acme. Winning the championship was the acme of their athletic careers. The company reached the acme of success with its groundbreaking product. The artist's latest painting represents the acme of her creativity. His performance in the play was the acme of his acting career. The mountain climber finally reached the acme of the summit after a challenging ascent. Acme means the highest point, pinnacle, or peak of achievement. Here is one more example. The painter proudly displayed his acme masterpiece, a canvas covered in random brush strokes that looked suspiciously like a cat's artwork. Carping. Despite their best efforts, the carping supervisor always found something to complain about. He had a carping attitude towards his teammates' performance, which demoralized the entire team. The carping critic tore apart the artist's latest exhibition without acknowledging its merits. The carping neighbor was quick to point out any flaws in the new landscaping. Her carping nature made it challenging to work with her on collaborative projects. Carping means constantly finding fault, overly critical. Here is one more example. The fish at the underwater comedy club were carping at the stand-up routine, they had a lot of fishy criticisms. Clarion. The clarion call for unity rallied the community together. The clarion voice of the singer filled the concert hall with its beautiful tones. The clarion announcement alerted everyone in the building to evacuate immediately. The clarion message of hope and resilience resonated with people during challenging times. The clarion sound of the trumpet marked the start of the grand ceremony. Clarion means clear and shrill, loud and clear. Here is one more example. The alarm clock had such a clarion sound that even the neighbors woke up and joined the morning dance party. Suture. The surgeon skillfully placed the suture to close the incision. The nurse removed the suture from the patient's wound after it had healed. The accident victim required multiple sutures to repair the deep lacerations. The doctor instructed the patient to avoid strenuous activities until the suture was removed. The skilled seamstress sewed the suture with precision and ensured the garment was seamless. Suture means a stitch or row of stitches used to close a wound. Here is one more example. The clumsy seamstress accidentally used licorice as a suture while sewing a torn shirt, resulting in a sticky situation. Insurgent. The country faced a growing number of insurgents seeking to overthrow the oppressive regime. The insurgent leader rallied his followers and planned an attack on the enemy's stronghold. The government took strict measures to suppress the insurgent activities. The novel tells the story of an insurgent who fought for freedom against an unjust system. The insurgent group carried out a series of attacks to disrupt the government's operations. Insurgent means a person who rebels against authority or a government. Here is one more example. The rebellious vegetable declared itself an insurgent against the salad regime, demanding to be served with ice cream instead. Unanimity. The jury reached a unanimous decision and delivered the verdict. The board members achieved unanimity in their vote on the proposed policy change. The team worked together with unanimity to complete the project ahead of schedule. The audience responded with unanimity, giving the performer a standing ovation. The committee members debated fiercely but eventually reached unanimity on the budget allocation. Unanimity means complete agreement or consensus among a group. Here is one more example. The family dinner was filled with such unanimity that they all agreed to order pizza and skip the cooking altogether. Bedraggle. The heavy rainstorm bedraggled her hair and clothes. The puppy played in the mud and returned home bedraggled. The hiker's shoes were bedraggled after walking through the marshy terrain. The wind and rain bedraggled the flags hanging outside the building. She arrived at the party bedraggled and disheveled after a long day at work. Bedraggle means to make or become wet, dirty, or limp. Here is one more example. The mischievous dog bedraggled the house with muddy paw prints, turning the floor into a modern art installation. Breadth. The breadth of the river was too vast to cross without a boat. The course covered a breadth of topics, providing students with a comprehensive understanding. He demonstrated the breadth of his knowledge by discussing various subjects. The artist's exhibition showcased the breadth of her artistic abilities. The CEO's speech touched on the breadth of challenges and opportunities in the industry. Breadth means the measure of width or extent, a wide range. Here is one more example. The buffet had such a wide breadth of options that I ate like it was my last meal on earth, forgetting about portion control. Turbulence. The airplane experienced turbulence during the flight, causing some passengers to panic. The political landscape was filled with turbulence as protests erupted across the country. The business went through a period of turbulence before stabilizing and finding success. The turbulent ocean waves crashed against the rocks. The artist's work depicted the inner turbulence of human emotions. Turbulence means state of unrest, disturbance, or agitation. Here is one more example. The roller coaster ride was so full of turbulence that even the squirrels in the nearby trees held onto their acorns for dear life. Spectral. The old abandoned house had a spectral atmosphere, making it a popular spot for ghost hunters. The spectral figure glided through the dark hallway, sending shivers down their spine. The book recounted spectral encounters and haunted locations. The spectral glow of the moon illuminated the eerie landscape. She claimed to have witnessed a spectral presence in her bedroom late at night. Spectral means relating to or resembling a ghost or apparition. Here is one more example. The haunted house tour guide claimed to have seen a spectral ghost, but it turned out to be just a sheet hanging on a clothesline. Sallow. After a week of illness, she had a sallow appearance. The patient's sallow skin indicated a possible liver condition. The lack of sunlight made his complexion sallow and dull. The character in the novel was described as having sallow features to emphasize his poor health. The prolonged stress left her looking tired and sallow. Sallow means unhealthy, yellowish complexion, sickly. Here is one more example. The vampire, tired of drinking blood, decided to switch to a sallow-colored smoothie made of kale and spinach, a truly ghastly choice. Lackluster. The lackluster performance failed to impress the audience. The team's lackluster effort resulted in a disappointing loss. The movie received lackluster reviews from critics. Her lackluster academic performance was a cause for concern. The party started with a lackluster atmosphere and struggled to gain energy throughout the night. Lackluster means lacking in brilliance, vitality, or enthusiasm. Here is one more example. The magician's performance was so lackluster that even the rabbits yawned. Mediocre. The restaurant received mediocre ratings due to its inconsistent food quality. Despite practicing for hours, his performance was mediocre at best. The team had a mediocre season and failed to qualify for the playoffs. The movie was mediocre, lacking originality or memorable moments. He settled for a mediocre job instead of pursuing his true passion. Mediocre means of only average quality, not very good. Here is one more example. My attempt at baking a cake turned out to be a mediocre disaster. Apple. The gruesome crime scene appalled even the seasoned detectives. The inhumane treatment of animals in the factory farm appalled many activists. The news of the devastating natural disaster appalled the entire nation. His offensive remarks appalled everyone in the room. The documentary's revelations about child labor appalled viewers and sparked a public outcry. Appall means to greatly shock, dismay, or horrify. Here is one more example. The sight of my neighbor mowing their lawn at 2 a.m. appalled the entire neighborhood. Noncommittal. The politician remained noncommittal on the controversial issue. She gave a noncommittal response when asked about her future plans. His noncommittal attitude frustrated those seeking a clear answer. The boss's noncommittal stance left the employees uncertain about the company's direction. The student's noncommittal body language made it difficult to gauge his level of interest in the topic. Noncommittal means not expressing or revealing commitment or opinion. Here is one more example. When asked if he wanted ice cream, he gave a noncommittal shrug and said, "Ice cream for no one." Agog. The children were agog with anticipation as they waited for the magician to perform. The fans were agog with excitement before the championship game. She was agog with curiosity about the secret the letter contained. The crowd stood agog as the fireworks lit up the night sky. The students were agog to hear the guest speaker's inspiring story. Agog means very eager, curious, or excited. Here is one more example. The cat sat agog, watching the ceiling fan spin, pondering the mysteries of feline aerodynamics. Deadpan. The comedian delivered his jokes with a deadpan expression, adding to the humor. Despite the shocking news, she managed to maintain a deadpan face. The detective questioned the suspect with a deadpan tone, making it difficult to gauge his innocence. The actor's deadpan delivery of the line elicited laughter from the audience. He gave a deadpan response to the outrageous comment, leaving everyone unsure if he was serious or joking. Deadpan means showing no emotion or expression, deliberately impassive. Here is one more example. The comedian delivered a deadpan punchline, but the audience mistook it for a eulogy. It's time to bid adieu, language enthusiasts. Take these captivating words with you on your linguistic journey. Let them be your companions as you navigate the vast sea of communication. Until we meet again, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep celebrating the wonders of words.